Hello everyone, it's Sloth here and we are going as always to Dimir colors, but it's not a control, it's not entirely a control. It's a combo deck that plays like control, which is pretty awesome by itself. And you might ask, what is the combo? Why so many cards? And let's go into the main card of the deck, Tainted Pact. 2 mana instant, it's pretty much a tutor, and we won't read this gibberish. Basically, you exile cards from the top of your deck, and as long as you don't hit the same named card twice, you can do it forever until you exile your whole deck. And for this reason, you cannot have duplicates in the deck if you really want to use it to full extent, hence the deck list. We actually have 2 cards with 2 copies, but for Tainted Pact it's not a problem, because if you have this effect on the stack, it means you had 1 Tainted Pact in hand and you cast it, so the other one in the deck doesn't count as exiling 2 cards because you played 1. So this part is fine. It gets more tricky with the Jace, which is your main win condition for this deck. That's pretty much exactly how you want to win every game, as this is a combo deck, as we said. So this is 4 mana Planewalker, and basically when you cannot draw a card from your library because you have no cards, then you win the game. So obviously we want to get rid of your whole deck with Tainted Pact, and then use +1 on the Jace, and just win the game. What are the issues with this combo? You need both, and Jace is in 2 instances. You have 2 cards of this Planewalker. So the moment you hit from the Tainted Pact one of them, you need to take it, because if you go further and you hit the other Jace, you don't get to keep any of them, because then the effect doesn't trigger, because you exile 2 cards with the same name. So that's a problem, and you need to take the first Jace that you see. So yeah, it slows the digging a bit, but in the end, if you get second Tainted Pact, for example, or you have 1 Jace in hand, then you can dig until end of your deck. So basically, you want to have 1 Jace and 1 Tainted Pact in your hand, and then you win, because that's the only 2 cards you need. The rest of the deck is a shell that makes you survive until this. So we have a lot of cycling. Here you can see a lot of cyclones. I won't try to blink too much, but as much cycling as possible, having 1 land type allowed in the deck. We also have things like Castle Lochwain, because it draws you cards. We have Castle Vantress, because it lets you scry. We have some sweepers like Shadow Verdict, Languish, Yahenni Expertise. So basically you can play this deck as a typical control, because very often playing a sweeper wins the game automatically. And you can really use Tainted Pact, especially the first one, as just a tutor. You can get any card from your deck, which is pretty amazing, because Demonic Tutor isn't very allowed in the format for reasons that are pretty justified. Yeah, and you can pretty much take any sweeper from your deck at instant speed, which is amazing. If not, you can just go into control with some counter spells. It's not like you are countering a lot. You have few counter spells in the deck for key moments, and a lot of removal. Bloodchief first, Withering, Fatal Push, Inquisition, and Thoughtseize, of course, Hand Hate. Erebos Intervention, very versatile. Yeah, and the whole idea of the deck is that you can dig into your deck, cycle as many cards as possible, and moment you hit those 2 cards, Jace and Tainted Pact, you win the game at the pretty much 1 turn. What do you need to be careful? Counter spells. Counter spells are devastating for this deck, because they can counter the Jace and you cannot win pretty much. When enemy kills Jace in response to the +1, it also doesn't really help you too much, because you don't have this part of effect. If you would draw a card while your library has no cards, you win the game, because that's the part of Jace warding as a Planewalker. If he's removed, then he gets removed first, then you get to draw a card, and then you die. So something you need to be careful of, but it can be circumvented pretty easily. You just need to hold Consider or Opt. So when the enemy kills Jace in response, then you just draw a card and you win the game. But something you need to keep in mind if you want to play into open mana from the enemy. Yeah, and other than this, the deck is pretty fun. It doesn't suffer from the typical control problem of I cannot kill him under 20 turns. Moment you hit 2 cards, you automatically win from most of the matchups, which is pretty sweet. On the other hand, it's not exactly super reliable, and yeah, if you don't get correct cards, you will lose the game. So yeah, a mixed bag on this one, but it feels pretty good. So if you never played deck like this, especially with Tainted Pact, I think it's pretty fun experience, and it plays very differently to usual control. So go for it, enjoy the games, and if you like decks like this, just subscribe, and I really appreciate any like, any subscription, and any support from your side, guys. So thank you very much for this, and enjoy the games. Okay, so we have one combo piece, which is pretty sweet. So when we hit the Tainted Pact, we can pretty much cycle all our deck and win. Sounds good to me, to be honest. Yeah, all of them are tap lands, so best that we scry at least. Like with this draw, we can win at turn 4 easily. We just need the Tainted Pact, and we can play Tainted Pact at turn 3, and this is a winning play. But we need to hit one of them, and yeah, we only have 2 of them. So that's something to consider. At this point, I don't want tap lands, I need to play something starting from now. We could go for the Thought Erasure. So enemy will have how much mana? 2, 3, 6. Sure. If I will never resign from baiting enemy into playing Muxus on turn 3 by sacrificing his full board and then counter it. This is something else. 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's exactly the GG. And this is to punish such greedy play. Like, yes, you can do it, but this kind of counterspell just loses you the game, so that's pretty risky play by the enemy. He has no cards, no nothing, pretty much. He can play this, but he cannot play Krenko next turn, so I will get rid of this guy. Languish is actually pretty good in this game, like in this matchup. Yep, especially when you have Celestus and you can cycle stuff that you don't need, like Negate. Celestus is actually very good card here, because it helps you to cycle your deck. Fatal Push. No thank you, not yet. Okay, so we could play Jace in some world, but I just won't do it, really. And let's do it at the upkeep. It creates 1 Goblin. Is it worth it to loot? Probably it is, I would say. And we kill it with Languish anyway. So let's go. Because then we get to switch, and we can cycle the Negate, which is great, and also heal 1 HP. So overall a good trade, I would say, especially that we need lands pretty badly right now. Yep, he gets the response. That's unfortunate part, but it's a good investment, I would say. And he cannot, thanks to the stop, he cannot use this mana to cast anything big, because it's the upkeep, so he cannot cast creatures. Yeah, sure, man. Amazing. So now we wait, and we don't target Fatal Push, because the enemy didn't use Krenko ability, and we want to answer it, not play it so he can answer it. Yep, now he's clicking it, and now we kill the stuff. And which one is better? Like, I guess Fatal Push is a bit worse in this matchup, because this kills Chieftains. And now our is going first. Now he gets 1 Goblin. And now he loses Krenko, and his turn is wasted, and now he draws. So if he draws Muxus, he is pretty much toasted. Okay. That's fine, that's fine. So he has some mana and very little board presence. We cannot cast this to switch into the daytime, but we don't really need to. As you can see, draw a card, definitely. And eliminate is way better than Withering, so let's cycle this. This is actually pretty good card, to be honest. We cannot play Jace because it dies. Eliminate goes for the creature land. So let's just keep drawing. Does the enemy have any non-creature? Creature, 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 creature. No, 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 no. We have one black, so we can go for our own graveyard. Not great, because we want the escape as soon as possible, probably at the end step. But you do what you gotta do. We are still waiting for the Tainted Pact. Moment we hit this card, the game is over. A Goblin. So he is activating the creature. I will make a stop. Generally game should ask you, but I had one situation where it didn't in different decks, so better safe than sorry. And we don't want to give him the token, especially that he has already 2 of them. So yeah, 2 damage a turn. Not really scary, to be honest. And enemy didn't cast a spell, so we can cycle, and we generally want to cycle every turn. And to be honest, Bloodchief first doesn't seem great. Key to the Archive, that's a good one. That's actually a good one. Archmage Charm, if he hits Muxus, we will really regret playing this. We will really regret it. But I will still go for it. The chance he hits Muxus is very small, and even if he does, he needs to hit very good goblins. Okay, that's dope. Honestly, I think we go for the Time Warp. It helps us a little bit with everything. Counterspell is amazing as well. We are in top deck mode, and we can cycle quite a lot. I'm talking myself into counterspell, to be honest. Okay, I'm a sucker for counterspells. What do we discard? Do we really do the Languish thing? Let's see what he draws. If he draws Muxus, we are screwed. And if he doesn't, he's screwed for the rest of the game. So I do believe it's a worthwhile gamble. Hurts a bit, but not the worst. Definitely not the worst. So that's the time of the day. We could double spell, but that's not really what we want. So we do nothing. We can activate the Hall of the Stone Giants. It might not look like this, so maybe enemy will miss it. But we have exactly the correct amount of mana. And I think he did miss it. I clicked one time too much. But that's fine, because he might cast Muxus anyway. Or something like this, which is really annoying. We will show exactly which card we got, but that's fine, because I want to have mana for Cling to Dust. And also option of drawing cards if I really want to. So we exile a non-creature. And I guess let's start with the worst cards, but it doesn't really matter too much. Bloodchief first, and that's submit. Yeah, I'm not sure about this block. Probably should do it, to be honest. See? Extremely calculated. Okay. Okay, a land is pretty fine here. So what exactly? This turn, I guess we do what we didn't do last turn. So we block with this Hall of the Storm Giants. Even if he hits Muxus, it means he doesn't get the attack with haste. So we just go for the block this turn. We have 2 mana, but that's not really much. Maybe he can pay the word cost, but Munition Expert won't do really so much damage to kill it. We cannot counter, so we allow it. Well, I guess it's perfectly the 7 damage in the end. It's really hard to calculate. You wouldn't believe when you talk and record. It's you just try to be a bit more entertaining, so usually you don't have much time to count, and that's still exactly what we would do. So we can jump block with some 1-drop if we want. It's night, so we would prefer to double a spell if we can. So what exactly is the play? Well, this could work. So we can counter and search 3 cards. That seems pretty good. Probably better than switching the daytime. And enemy doesn't kill us yet, so without any new spell, which we can counter, it shouldn't be a huge issue. So the plan is to hopefully win the next turn, and if enemy doesn't cast anything, it's even better. So we have 3/6 mana to play this. So let's find some good cards. Up to 2 of them. So what exactly do we want? Do we want more scrying or some blockers? Blockers keep us safe pretty much. So let's take 1 of them, and I guess consider maybe. Yeah, we don't super well. Graveyard seems a bit better thanks to Cling to Dust, so why not? I guess. Let's play the land. We still didn't draw our game-winning card, which is a bit unfortunate, but still it should be okay. First, let's cast Consider and see what we draw. And we draw pretty well, I would say. We still have counter spell up, and I think that's something we won't really give up. I want to have counter spell because we have very good situation right now. Let's take action. If he has something that is playable, he will play it. So Inquisition, not the greatest. That's fine. Whatever attacks, yeah. Something. Go for a jump. And thanks to this, we can just draw cards at the end step. He cannot kill us this turn anyway. Also thanks to Celestus. And let's just draw card that we need and get it over with. Yep, that's exactly the plan. We also have exactly the correct mana. Even if we hit, yeah, because we will... No, we have everything, so let's just go win the game. Finally, we really were a bit unlucky with drawing this Tainted Pact. It took a while, to be honest, but right now we can just go for it. It was maybe a little bit gamblish that I drew cards, but at this point I was in a way quite certain that we should hit it. We are drawing a lot of cards, so we would cycle this, go with the draw and so on. And we can also play Jace. So right now we are in full decline. And we are going up to 0 cards. That's important. You really don't want to save the 1, which is a bit different from what you do at the end step if you cast this. Yep. And this is something I really like about this deck. When you have either control or just get all the cards, you instantly win, which isn't the case with the normal control decks, which need so much time to finish the enemy. And now we are playing Jace, and that's a good game. Let's mill what the enemy cards Cranko and Snoop. Pretty good. Okay, so we are going second. We have some answer to creatures, so hopefully that gives us enough time. We also have amazing green mana, that's extremely useful in our deck. Jokes aside, we have 2 lander with Tome, so I'm more or less happy about it. Could be better, could be worse. We definitely have something to work with. Of course, enemy starting is a bit of an issue. Music's Master, nice skin. Interesting one for sure. So let's play it like this. Turn 4 is the biggest problem, because it enables all of his cards pretty much, and we need quite a lot of blue mana to answer it. So for this reason we won't be able to cast counter spell anyway, so let's go for blue and get the Tome, and hopefully at our upkeep we can draw into island and have a counter spell ready, and then we will have to think. This will be pretty hard match overall, depending on the enemy draw. Like if he has 2 or 3 reanimation spells in a way, then we are in a hard choice and like hard situation, because we can answer one and then we need to extremely start digging into the next one. But we will see, maybe enemy doesn't have anything right now, and if he whiffs like 1 turn with land, then he cannot play the Faithless Looting, and this slows him down quite a lot. So far it seems to be the case, but we will see. We can go for the super interactive board that does so much. Yeah, or the pet. So basically, Rear, not great in this scenario, but if we have a lot of time, maybe it will be useful. So the enemy is really thinking hard. They have land, Faithless Looting, and let's wait for his decision, see what exactly goes into the graveyard. And then we'll... oh man, like he has it all. So the next one is Memory Mastery probably, and we need to counter it. And we won't hit it with Inquisition, so that's not the card. We can draw with the Shark Typhoon, so that's not it. We need the blue mana, unfortunately. Let's draw and see if that was enough. That was not enough. Okay, so we will go like this. Cling to Dust is actually very good. We just perch whatever they target. So, you know what? It's pretty close to Counterspell, maybe even better a bit. So I expect Music's Mastery with target, and then we use Cling to Dust, and maybe he will even scoop up. Honestly, he might scoop up. Is he really doing this? I would just want to check. It just wastes his card in the graveyard. That's such a strange play. But sure. Like, I'm not sure what the reasoning was behind it, but that was fine. And I should make a stop at the upkeep. I kind of forgot, but we got lucky. Silundi Vision, that's a good card. It's slow, but it's good. So we have double counter spell, one this turn and one the next one, so I think we should win this. We went through the hard part, and with so many counter spells we should have more than he hit. Yep, and that's all his game plan. Cast 2 Music's Mastery, and if that's not enough, you just scoop. Alright, so we are going for the next game, and this one starts challenging. We only have blue mana, but we have nearly all blue cards, so I will take it. I might even cycle the Sandbar, or we might just... no, probably I will just use it as Jwari fodder. And hopefully we draw some kind of land in the first turns, so then I can use Jwari. Thought Erasure, kind of like redundant. Not the game for this one. And that's a good draw. 3 mana is a bit too much, so we are just going to wait with this one. And by wait I mean take it as a land. And thanks to this we can use Jwari next turn. Enemy is having very aggressive start, that's for sure. Okay, and we can actually go for the Thought Erasure. So let's do it. Enemy has only 4 cards. Bone Crusher is the most value in the end. Can we answer the creature? Not really. It trades perfectly with our creature, so I think that's the best. It sucks to be hit, and that's one of our cards, so we just need Jace. Unfortunately, we will die quite quickly if we get hit multiple times. Especially with this one, if he draws another. That's a lot of damage. Wow. Yeah. Good top deck, my friend. Good top deck. You can just draw perfectly. Alright. If enemy doesn't draw land, it means that we can counter something. Hopefully he plays this first, so we can counter the lightning bolt, or whatever it's called, the expensive version. And we can also go for the creature, which can help us draw lands, which is also an option. Here we can go for Jace and play Jace, I guess. So I think we play the tap land. We need a lot of blue mana for Jace. Yep, enemy also gets hit, but for this game it won't really matter at all. Like, his HP doesn't matter. And we want to counter pretty much anything we can. I would prefer to counter something. Yes, exactly. So he plays it first. So I guess he wants to draw something. Not sure what. I guess it's better than not playing it at the upkeep in the end. Hopefully he doesn't hit an untapped land. That's not great, so we go for Tainted Pact for this reason. And we are at 8, so we need to go quite fast in this situation. We might hit a good card from Key to the Archive, so we will see, we will see. And for now we are looking for Jace. Or maybe another Tainted Pact, we will see. But even if we hit another Tainted Pact, I think we just go for Jace anyway. That's our play for the game. And we take him. We could risk, but it's not worth it. Oh. Oh! That changes things. So we are saying that we can win next turn. Okay. I think I can go with this strategy. So we are at 7. We shouldn't die. I think we won't die next turn. I think we have 2 turns and we win in 1 turn. So the priority is taken by this card, which doesn't deal damage but from mana. So nothing he has. Perfect. And we actually won this game. Yeah, Jace is pretty good with the Tainted Pact. If you hit those 2 cards, it's just so great and so easy to win. Usually you just need to defend for 15 turns with control deck. And with this, no, you just cast 2 cards and you win. Pretty awesome. So let's go into the glory exiling. 42 cards to go. Enemy is thinking. Okay. That's fine. You need to be careful with the clicking. You really don't want to click take action and throw the game. That's not how we do it. So I would love to talk a bit more, but I don't want to lose this one. So basically you exile everything. Given we cast it at the end step, it means that we are bound to draw 1 card before we play Jace. And what it means is that we need to leave 1 card. So be sure to check from time to time how many there are left. You can also go for the visuals as well. I myself prefer to just double check it. I'm this kind of person, probably that's why I play control. As you can see, 12. He can target Jace, but thanks to the design of the Planewalker, it has 4 loyalty, and this deals 3 only. So he cannot kill it in response, because that's something we also need to consider. Enemy is really a champ, waiting, hoping that we mess it up. Okay, so this goes into hand, this we draw. Take action. Yes, we are at 6, at 3. We play the castle, Jace, no cards in the library. And enemy cannot answer it in any way that ensures that he kills the Jace. Enemy, I'm not sure if he still realizes what's going on. Like at this point he saw that we have Jace in hand, so not exactly sure what information he is lacking to scoop. Maybe it's just a rage roping. Yeah, you showed me, my friend. You are the moral winner by playing a damage to your face. And it doesn't matter who you mirror, because you draw a card. And that was a good game. That's exactly how you want to play with this deck. So we have a real huge load of removal, which is amazing for the early game. So basically we still start with the tap land, I think. It's decent, and it's not like the enemy will play a 2-drop, especially that he's Yorion deck, so probably Doom for Thought or something like this, which makes, I guess, Talisman a good card for the matchup. So far I'm going blue in case we draw the island or something like this. Like, we probably won't cast Archmage Charm next turn, but let's at least try to do it. And, well, we could use the Talisman. Honestly, like, we have everything pretty much. And, yeah. I actually will play it. Enemy doesn't have blue. I wouldn't do it if enemy had blue mana and could use counterspell. But we need to be as efficient as possible. If we draw land next turn, it means we can win in 2 turns. Yep. And right now we have only singleton cards in the deck. So we can cycle through all the deck at the end step and play Jace, and that's GG. We just need 1 additional blue mana, and that's it. Also, most enemies won't play the Wishclaw Talisman because they aren't aware that they will die in 2 turns. So they just think that they give us value. Okay, this guy is brave, but it also slows him a bit, as he cannot play a 4-drop, I believe. I honestly not sure if he played the land. I guess he did. We will see. Okay, he can do it like this. Whoa, yeah. Okay, so basically, it's funny, but we have to do it. We actually have to do it. Which is amazing. And this is all thanks to the enemy using our land. So, what do we have? We have a swamp. Amazing, so we can get both mana at the same time. And suddenly our counterspell is up. Enjoy your Talisman. That went really well. Enemy has blue mana, which is a bit scary. Oh man, I don't mind it at all. So, let's go Fatal Push, I guess. Not like it matters a bit, like a lot. He won't have time for Hydra. And that should be the game, pretty much. So always with this deck, remember, if you play this, at the end step you need to leave 1 card. Yeah, and the enemy knows what's up. So if you do it main phase, you always leave 0 cards. If you do it at the end step, you always leave 1 to not die to draw. Okay, we are going first with wrong mana base. What can get better? I will keep it. I will keep it because we have so much stuff to do if we hit the right land, and we can cycle the sandbar at the turn 1. Yes, we have 2 lands and we will cycle 1 of them. And that's fine. That's fine, really. You will see. Haha, we are cycling. See? Easy. Easy. That's not the right one, but it's still easy. We are in trouble right now. Sure. Let's pretend that we have something, so enemy gets scared, hopefully. But the fact that we didn't kill the sentinel already shows that we probably don't have anything. What a mean person. He cannot attack, so let's do it like this. We cycle for 0. And hope. Like, we have a lot of this kind of mana. Okay, that's way better. A bit late though. A bit late, not going to lie. And unfortunately with this deck you have so many taplans that you are very often turned behind. So I guess we make Tainted Pact for Sweeper. Not sure if that's enough though. Not sure if that's enough. Especially we have only 1 mana of the color we need. Withering. Withering is pretty amazing. So what we... Enemy won't have enough mana to activate everything. So I guess that's the play. It's pretty weird. But next turn we have double black mana, which is pretty amazing. We do it during our turn, so he cannot answer with mana. And hopefully he cannot kill us this turn. 5. I think he cannot. Yep, 2 is enough to do anything. It's untapped, great. Okay, so basically we don't have much choice. We need to play the Tainted Pact and hit a Sweeper. Decline. One of the few situations when you don't want a combo piece. -4. Seems pretty decent. I will take it, my friend. Tutors, pretty good cards. But it's not over. Yeah, this guy. So, it's 1 damage. But there's high chance that he will draw something that kills us. We can go into the night, and that's like precisely what we are going to do. So we get 1 additional life and we get to loot something. Probably Thoughtseize. Let's take action. Leer? Pretty decent here, I think. Yeah, even casting Languish. Sorcery, so we can cast Languish. Removing Leer. But yeah, it should be fine. It should be fine, guys. I think we are overall in pretty decent situation. It might not seem like this, but overall that's good. It's only a sorcery, which sucks. I would love to use this ability right now. Island, decent draw. So what exactly are we doing? We can go for Davriel or Tainted Pact. I think we just go with Davriel. It's pretty cheap. And we can double spell, which heals us even more. Man, like, this deck can do stuff. It plays like Control in so many ways. Okay, and we have to do it during our turn, unfortunately. So, let's do it. If enemy gets collected company, we just got wrecked, and that's fine. Oh man, this is perfect. Honestly, this is just perfect. It doesn't kill Leer. We can double use it. Oh man, that's... I think we just go for Leer, I guess. Let's take it. It's so weird. That's not how you play this deck overall. Take action, definitely. And we don't want Thought Erasure. We leave Negate just for the collected company. In case he has it. Not all the decks play it, I think. But generally it's such a good card that you want to play it. Yep. And suddenly, do you want to draw a card? Okay, I guess. And we have enough mana, so let's discard this one. We also get heal every turn, which is pretty good. We don't play the land for the Celestus reasons. We could switch the daytime. So how do we exactly win? With value? So we exiled one of them. So we still have the other one and Jace in the deck. We can also try to kill him, but then we are pretty naked. And we need 3 turns. You know what? It might be still the best option. So we can get Negate even after attacking, which is pretty awesome. So, let's attack. We even have Baleful Mastery. So it's 2-turn clock with Leer, which makes him forced to block next turn if we do it again. And if he plays too many creatures, we just use Shadow Verdict and get rid of everything on the board. Languish is like last thing that we can do, but it's not great with Leer. So basically he cannot really answer Leer in any way in this deck. So we just get free value every turn. And I think he realized it. Okay, we don't get to switch to the other time, like the daytime, but it's fine. We are at 4, so we aren't super pressured. Even if that's 2-2 or somehow even 3-3, it still doesn't kill us. So, how many combinations of one card and playing it you have? Oh, look at you. Yep. Okay, so that was in the end good decision. Like going for the combo is tempting, but in the end it can go really wrong.